Hi. Well, I'm just gonna get started here so I can make sure that I'm able to see some of these comments. Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna work. So whatever. It's the first time doing
So I can
well,
sure.
let me turn that down. Doing a social Saturday discussion. This is the first time. Figured I'd give it a try. I don't really know what we'll do, but it's we'll just, if you want to discuss this piece, that's fine with me. If you want to discuss anything, I'm here to discuss it. If you don't want to discuss anything, that's also fine. You can just say goodbye. Or you can just stare at me. Oh yeah, that is working right here on the... Okay. Awesome. I was worried if this was going to work. Wasn't going to work. I have the screen here that's supposed to show me the Facebook chat so that I can comment or see what your guys' comments are. And now that I can see it, that's cool. So I can actually see if you have any questions or if you have anything that you want to discuss. I guess I could just start talking about some of the stuff on here. Usually when I'm drawing, I hate that autofocus. Usually when I'm drawing, I'm not thinking at all. I just hello in Luxembourg. Did you see that your friend had won? I can't remember who you tagged, but anyway. So anyway, usually when I'm drawing, I'm not thinking at all. Not usually, about 95% of the time when I'm drawing, I'm not thinking about what I'm drawing. I'm just drawing, and I'll maybe start with a loose concept of like, okay, like with this piece, I knew I wanted to draw a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So that was kind of how it started. I didn't know where it was going to end up, but I just started drawing, and then this whole UFO thing started happening. I usually just listen to the music that I'm listening to and just let my subconscious do all of the work. So subconsciously, I think maybe where I was headed was, hello Miguel, was, Tyrannosaurus Rex, dinosaurs being fossil fuels. And then it became this whole thing about the aliens, and this symbol here is to the Shell gas oil company. So these are just theories that I've heard from people about the meaning behind this. I have my own theory of what's going on in this piece. I don't like to give away too much of my thoughts on it, but what are your guys' thoughts? What were you listening to? I don't really know. Usually I listen to this band called Silver Mount Zion. There's a cello in there, and it can get, the music can send you into some strange thoughts. So if you can't, I can't really zoom in any closer, but I can discuss some of the things on the piece. The hardest part about this piece when I was drawing it was this the UFO. There are so many tiny little details here inside the UFO, and yeah, it was kind of a nightmare. But I will point out some things on here, and you guys can go. There's a link in this post to see the piece on my website, so you can zoom in or see it even with more detail. There are a bunch of symbols on here that correlate with the symbols on the dolphins. You can zoom in, go to the website, look at the piece, and zoom in and see what those symbols are, and then I will leave that up to you to discover what each one of those symbols means. They're ancient symbols. And Miguel, I like to draw because, as you can tell when I'm speaking, there's so much happening in my brain. It's hard for me to even verbally get it out. And when I'm drawing, it centers me, it levels me out a little bit, gives me some balance, and I can get what's inside of my mind. I can get it out onto paper much easier than I can when I'm having a discussion. So maybe one of the theories that someone had was that the dolphins were being used as bait from the aliens in the UFO to trap the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Hence, maybe the mouse trap down here on his foot. And if you also, you may not be able to see in the feed, but inside here, there's a little guy inside there screaming to get out. What else is going on in here? There's the satellite dish up here on his head. Maybe that's sending out a feed. Maybe that was what was sending out the feed to bring the aliens in here. And the oil company came and sucked up all the fuels. Or maybe another theory that someone had was that they're not actually taking the dinosaur, they're placing the dinosaur here on whatever planet. Maybe this is Earth. I've heard someone discuss it being Mars, just based off the color on here. I like to put a lot of little Easter eggs in my pieces while I'm drawing them. And I did this drawing maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. So a lot of times I forget. I forget what those little Easter eggs are. To be honest, I've forgotten what the symbols are that I used in here. Let's see what... okay, I think the dolphins are connected to cycle back mentally to end oil production with the T-Rex representing fossil fuel. I like that. It's very possible that that's what's going on here. My artwork tends to be focused on against oppression and against the man and corporations and they tend to lean that way. So... I mean, obviously I use fossil fuels and gasoline, but yeah, this is probably some sort of protest piece against our overuse of fossil fuels. But I don't get too political, and I mean, I have my beliefs and my politics and my opinions, but I don't use my artwork to preach any of that or to propagate anything that I believe. My artwork is always self-evaluative, so I am trying to figure myself out and my own and the things that we're experiencing. So, yeah, that's possible. Maybe, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a cool concept about the aliens. I mean, the dolphins here are. It's something about trying to protect the planet from oil companies. What else do I have in here? Yeah, I don't even know how you will end up looking up these symbols, and I can't even remember which symbols they are. I'm pretty sure they are ancient symbols. Like I said, I drew this piece maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. But yet the symbols here that I put in the lights on the UFO, they do correlate with the symbols on here. I haven't even really looked at this piece in depth, since I just figured when I was going to go live, I would just kind of experience it the same time you are. What I try to remember, I try to go back when I look at a piece, I try to go back and remember certain things that I added in when I was drawing it. I kind of remember when I was doing the dolphins, they were the last addition to the piece. And I know that on his fin here, I wrote fin, and I know it's his fin. But I think that if I remember correctly, I kind of added the dolphins last, and I was thinking fin. I was, French for finish because I was finished. I don't know. Sometimes I just do dumb things like that when I'm drawing. All my pieces that have the zipper inside there, that all has its own kind of meaning to it that I'm not gonna share. I'll leave that up for you to figure out what the zippers mean in the pieces. I also do the triple X, 3 X's on all my pieces that came after a certain year. I think after 2000, maybe 2012 or something, I started putting the triple X in the pieces, and that represents my what I would say my age, getting older, becoming an adult, and starting to understand myself and my artwork a little more. So the triple X is something I put in the pieces to remind myself of the journey that I've been on through my creations of artwork. Yeah, I didn't really come into this with any particular plans. It was just part of my March Madness thing. I thought, what could I do on a Saturday? All week long I've been giving away prints, and I didn't want to have people keep commenting and tagging all week, because that's gonna start up all again next week. So I thought this would be a way I could just call it Social Saturday, and I could just ramble on like I do. You'll not like in a lot of my pieces too. I like to use these the wires or cords or tentacles. A lot of that is to do with composition and movement in the pieces. Since the drawings are usually static, I like to add just a little bit more movement, some flow to the piece. That's what the watercolors usually help with that. You'll find some smiley faces in my pieces often. All of this, all the black was done with ballpoint pen. All the color here, this is all watercolor. Any of the color inside here is all colored pencil. Even his tongue is colored there. I work on Mylar. So this piece that we're looking at right here, this is a print of the original piece. But I use pencil on the Mylar here and charcoal on the edges of where the pen is. It smears better than pen smears. So I will put charcoal right around the edge. I'll darken it a bunch, and then I'll just take my finger or something and just kind of smear it out. Yeah, you're right, Josh. It is difficult to do. I'd prefer to leave discussions of my artwork on the page and let people sort of have that discussion on their own, because it's my own. It's my own discussion happening in my head when I'm drawing. So yeah, it is a bizarre thing to do. I'm somewhat used to it now, being that I've had to discuss my artwork with the masses for the last 10, 15 years. But I still struggle when I'm doing it. But listen, people who've seen me live or been on drink and draws or have had conversations with me, I struggle to have a conversation anyway. I mean, I enjoy having conversations with people, but I struggle to find the words that are inside my head. That's been a problem I've had my whole life, and something that's been like the crux of my life. I've always wanted to have a stronger vocabulary, and just suffered from not having it, because I can't keep my thoughts come out. My thoughts are way too fast for my mouth to keep up. So, but I whatever, that's me. I also, I'm an open book. I have been my whole life. I ain't afraid to express what I feel. I ain't afraid to I ain't afraid to stumble. I ain't afraid to be wrong. This it's what I mean. My artwork is what I am. So, well, we reached the 15-minute discussion. I don't know if it went anywhere or did anything, but it was just something I wanted to add to the March Madness. The social Saturday. Anyone else have anything they want to add to it before I wrap it up? Chris, I will tell you my favorite part of this piece is the mousetrap on his foot. That was sort of after the dolphins. That was one of the last things that went in there, and technically, I'm satisfied with it, but conceptually, I think that it really was like the bow on this whole thing. It wrapped it up nicely, and so thanks for pointing that out. I did say, I know it is too quick. The thing is, I've made it only 15 minutes is because I have this thing on my mind that I don't want people to get sick of me, and if I'm on here all the time, I have a tendency to believe that I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just don't want people to get sick of me. And this March Madness thing is going to be a month long of me just spewing, which is why I did the Friendly Friday thing yesterday. It's really, again, it's not all about me. It is my artwork, and you guys follow my artwork, and I always wanted to make sure you know that I'm appreciative of it, and so my platforms are where you see the artwork. I always want to keep it about my artwork, so it is about me, but not. I'm sure you get what I'm saying there. I've been a professional artist for almost 20 years now. People have been collecting my artwork for about 20 years. So I should be comfortable with it. But I still, every day, wake up and just think it's crazy that people connect to my work as much as they do. That keeps me level-headed, and also I'm a humble person anyway. I mean, humble people don't say that, I guess. But if you've been around me long enough or follow me long enough, you do. I hope that you get the sense that I am authentic all the way with what I share with you and the things that I believe. I'll never bullshit you or try to act like something I'm not. Let's see. I was just reading some of the other comments on here. Oh, that's a cool comment from your teacher. Yeah, your soul comes out when you draw. Yeah, it definitely does. Or at least it does for me. Got a comment here. I've been talking to my cats and husband for a year. Nice to hear. Yeah, it's been some people. Kind of just been stuck alone talking to yourself. I do a lot of that, but not out loud. I'm constantly in discussion in my head when I'm drawing, and with my kids and my wife. But when I'm out in the studio, I'm in my own head all the time. So these things that I do in these live drawing sessions and these discussion things, they're actually nice to have. It's nice to feel like I'm speaking to somebody. Thank you, Howard. I appreciate it. Yeah, Chris, thank you. Yes, my work definitely is, I prefer it to be open to interpretation. I do get asked quite a bit at shows or online. People ask me, what does this mean? or what does the piece mean. I find it better. I try not to give out that information because a lot of times I don't know exactly what they mean. It's like I said, it's me kind of just venturing my own mind. They all have meaning, and I do discover what they mean later on. But while I'm drawing them, I'm just freely. I'm letting my subconscious figure it out. My subconscious tends to be a little smarter than I am. Let's see. Well, thanks, Josh. I'm happy to make you laugh. Justin, yeah, here, I'll answer that question, and then I'll answer that question, and then we'll wrap it up. So Justin Griffin is asking, how do you expand your brain into more intricate ideas like that, or how would I rather? A lot of times people will suspect, or their first thing is like, oh, what are you smoking to get there? And to be honest, when I draw, I'm 100% sober, unless I'm doing a drink and draw, which it's more of a social thing. So I'm drinking and drawing, and I don't actually like to drink when I draw. My lines get a little messy, and I also don't pay much. I mean, it's just sloppy. So anyway, expanding your mind and your brain and allowing yourself to just draw. One of the best things is to not judge what you're drawing. I don't know how old you are, but and people don't ever talk on the phone anymore. But one of the things I would always tell people is one of the best tools to drawing was when you used to talk on the phone, you'd be doodling. And it used to, it would become like if you were on the phone, you could talk with someone for like an hour, and an hour later, you noticed you have this whole drawing on your notepad or on your whatever you were drawing on, because you weren't paying attention to what you were drawing. You were in a conversation on the phone. So what I have always done, 33, well, I don't know. So maybe you don't talk on you come from the world of texting. Well, the age was I was just saying, because back when I was growing up, all we had were phones. So it was just constant, you'd be on the phone talking, not texting. Anyway, the point is, turn on try turning on some music or watching TV. The only reason I don't watch the TV when I draw is it tends to get into your mind visually, and then you end up drawing that on the paper, so that it has a little too much influence on what you're going to draw. But I've always said one of the best tools for me when to just allow myself to just dump all that's in here onto paper is just turning on music and just listening to the music and not focus on what you're drawing. And you'll be amazed about all the things that are happening up here in your mind that you weren't thinking about, consciously, because when you're thinking about it and trying to put it on the paper, you're going to struggle. Sometimes I do that. A lot of times when I'm doing a drink and draw and there's a specific theme to what I'm drawing, I can run into a wall where I'm like, oh, I don't know what to draw. It's best to not think about drawing and just dump it on the paper. But yeah, just like doodling when you're on the phone or doodling when you're in a discussion at work or something. But yeah, it's totally about not thinking and just putting it on the paper. Allow your subconscious to just to get out of there, because you're gonna all the things that happen in your day, or even your own ego sometimes can get in the way. You'll always get in the way of all of the best stuff that's up there in your mind. So yeah. Don't let yourself get in your way, because you will every time. Yeah, same with reading, so I can't read. I mean, I know how to read. I can read, but I can't read a book. I'm not able to shut my mind up when I'm reading. So I'll read 2 pages and not even know what the hell just happened. My mind just is way too much. So, but yes, easier said than done. Oh yeah, Lovecraft. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, But yeah, you're right. It is easier said than done. I mean, someone like Lovecraft, there's only one Lovecraft, and he can say something, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that's." I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but you get the point. I hope it is easier said than done, but use music or something to distract you from getting it out. And then one last thing before I wrap it up. A really good trick, or maybe I wasn't going to say a trick. What was I going to say? I was going to wrap it up with one last thing. Oh, about not judging your work and not thinking about it and not going like, oh, this looks bad or this looks good, or none of that matters. I once heard an artist say, and you wouldn't even, it was remarkable to me who it was, but it was Jewel. And she said in an interview, I think it was on Howard Stern or something, but I really loved what she had to say, and basically the gist of it was she just makes the music. Just make the music. Don't judge it. Don't let anything, because you're getting the practice in. You're getting in the work. The mind is a muscle. You got to keep making it work. And by judging what you're creating, you're hindering yourself from getting it out, because you'll start going like, oh, I don't want to do that. Or this doesn't look good. This is another reason why I like to use ballpoint pen. I can be indecisive. With the pencil, I would just keep erasing all the time. But with the pen, I'm forced to go with what's on the paper, and you just keep going, and you go along with it, and you just keep going, keep going, keep going. There's my long answer to your your question. I enjoyed chatting with you guys today. I'm not a genius. I don't know all of everything, so please don't mistake me for being a know-it-all. I can only share with you what I have learned in my professional artistic career and what I do with my life. So please take any information that I give you or that I share as just that. I'm definitely not a know-it-all. But this is what I have learned, and this is the information I can share with you. Thank you, and happy March Madness. Have a beautiful weekend. And if you want to join us for the drink and draw tonight, if you're not sick of me enough, you can get tickets at the website. We're drawing a leprechaun tonight, and it's on Zoom. It's more engaging. People, we kind of discuss and everything. But yeah, you can get your tickets at the website. Use the promo code March Madness, and you can get the tickets for half off. I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm done talking. Wrapping it up. It's always been something I've been hard to do. It's been hard to do. All I got to do is push that stop button, and it's done. And it's taken me that long because I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm not. That was Social Saturday. Tomorrow is 60-second Sunday. I'm gonna do a drawing in 60 seconds. Brilliant? No. Fun? Yes. Okay. Cheers, everybody, and congratulations to the winners today. And good night. No, good day. Have a great weekend.